Joined here today by the one and only Gooden, coming off the big win, the submission victory over Marcel Stamps recently at Island Fights. Thanks so much for joining me, man. How are you?
I'm good, Brody, man. I appreciate you taking the time to interview me, man.
Of course, man, we had to bring you back on. 'Cause the last time I talked to you, you were telling me you had this goal of 7 fights this year. So far, we're at 5, and we're only in October, man. How is it getting these fights going and trying to reach that goal to 7?
Oh man, it's awesome. Like I said, I set the goal and I accomplished it, man. You see, I'm on my way. I don't have any news yet on fights, but I am trying to get one in November and try to do one in December. I just want to be as active as I can, man, and just finish this year out and, like I said, knock out my goal for this year.
And so, what's the key to getting so many fights? Is that just your management lining you up? Is this just you staying ready? Is this a combination of things? I mean, how are you making it happen?
I think it's a combination of things. I always believe in you don't have to get ready if you stay ready. Like even though like I even after the fight, what was that, Thursday? I'm going to the gym back tonight. I try to do a quick turnaround. I don't take days off that much. You know what I mean? So, like I said, and it's a combination of my manager doing the hard work. Reaching out to promotions and putting my name out there, telling them I'm ready to go. And so yeah, it's a combination. No successful man is an island. So yeah, man, it's me and my team that's helped me get to where I want to go.
And at this point in your career, are you under contract with one specific promotion for a couple of fights, or are you just doing it one fight at a time? What's it like sort of for you right now?
Right now I'm taking one fight at a time. I'm not tied down, anything like that. You know what I mean? Like just like relationship. You know what I mean? I try not to get tied down. Just man, just singles out there. You know what I mean? Just fishing for right now.
For sure, man. Let's talk about this performance against Marcel. Obviously, you got the submission out there over a hype prospect. I believe you were number one coming out of Georgia. I think he was number one coming out of Alabama. How was it for you getting the victory over a hype prospect in this one?
Winning and getting a finish is always awesome, but if you ask me personally, I'm not happy with my performance at all. I actually rate myself. I give myself like a high C, a low B. Like I said, just because I know what I can do and just because I know what I can do and how I train, that was my best performance out there, nowhere near. And I have a lot more to show, and just I want to make sure I let everybody know that I can and I will do better. So just expect better from the night train.
And so, what was it that you weren't happy with your performance? Is there something specifically? Is it maybe the way you felt out there? What kind of happened there?
How I felt and how I just moved, how I reacted to certain things. The number one thing that sticks out to me every time I watch the fight, it's he was a lot more afraid of me than I thought he was. And it's because of I was coming off that loss to my opponent, a TKO loss to Bruno, that made me hesitate a little more in that fight than I wanted to. But yeah, man, I realized he was a lot more afraid of me than I knew, and I wish I would have capitalized on it more, and I could have gotten him out there in the first round, in my opinion. But again, he's a very amazing athlete, a great fighter, and I hope he stays in the game, man. I can't wait to hear about his endeavors.
So, how do you realize when you're out there that an opponent is afraid of you? Is it because they're tentative? Do you see something in the way they're fighting, perhaps even their eyes, something like that? What kind of makes you say that? What makes you realize that about your opponent?
It's really all it's like I said, look in their eyes, the tentativeness on them, and it usually doesn't take me that long after a few exchanges to realize that when, like, you know what I mean, how to realize how the opponent's going to react the rest of the fight. Like I said, it's because I was coming off that loss with Bruno. Like I said, that it was like a mind fuck in a way, and because Marcel was fucking huge. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's just certain things certain looks he give me, like certain faces he make with his face, and like even time he would faint and just wouldn't move, and he kept backing up a lot. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's certain things that like just add up, and that lets me know that I could have dictated the fight a lot more if I would have just pressed instead of, like I said, just being a little nervous. If that makes sense.
And so you mentioned kind of that mental block from the fight before and that loss. So what's kind of going on there mentally with that one? I mean, what is it that's kind of stopping you from kind of performing the way you want to in your next one, if that makes sense?
I don't think there's anything to stop me in my next one. I believe since I got this one with Marcel Stamps finally out of the way, it kind of it's helping me, if that makes sense. I'm trying to see the best way to describe it. It's like rehab. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like after fighting and losing to a big dude, you got to come off of that. You know what I mean? So how do you do that? You fight another big dude. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And when you beat him, you can start to like the tentativeness starts to go away. So I believe I know mentally that I am better now after that loss and after not coming off this win. Just for these fans and everybody, just expect more from me and better from me.
And so, how do you feel mentally now that you're coming off this win? I mean, is it a relief? Or are you just excited for what's next? I mean, how are you feeling mentally?
Um, it's always a relief to win. You know what I mean? To add to the legacy. Um, but yeah, man, it also makes me excited for the future. You know what I mean? Because again, going into that fight, there's a lot of things going on with me that people don't know. I don't want to let them know because I don't believe in making excuses or just anything like that. You know what I mean? The fight game's fight game. How you go into the fights? How you go into the fight? But after covering after how to say this after accomplishing the win and getting that through everything I went through, I just know that I'm better off for it. And again, I'm just excited for the future, man. I just can't wait to see whatever comes, whatever may come. That makes sense.
For sure. This fight was on a big platform. Obviously, it was on UFC Fight Pass. Were you told by anyone that potentially the UFC higher ups were watching, or that maybe an impressive victory would lead to the UFC? Did you hear of anything like that?
I didn't hear anything of so everybody says that. I don't know who the what's the word, the correct source is. You know what I mean?
Right.
To listen to everybody said, oh, the next win could be your biggest win. Oh, this is blah 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 blah. Like, I'm just in it to fight, man. With the UFC or Bellator, whoever calls, they will call when they want to call, man. I'm just here to fight. I'm just going to keep fighting as long as I can. I'm healthy. I'm young. This is what I want to do as a career. So, like I said, I'm just going to keep fighting. When they call, they call. I'm just ready to go whenever they want to.
And obviously, being that you're a prospect, I believe number one coming out of Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's at welterweight or middleweight, something like that. There's a lot of talk of the Contender Series, which went by this summer. Was there any talk of you potentially competing on that show?
Yes, there was, and sadly, the loss to Bruno's will kind of knock me off track. But like I said, it's all about what the UFC cares for, and what I keep hearing is that UFC cares for win streaks, and finishes. You know what I mean? So I got the first one. It's like building a wall. You don't think about, if you think about the wall in general, you can get overwhelmed thinking about building this big wall. But if you take it brick by brick, you know, time by time, it won't take that long. So that's what I'm doing, man. Like the UFC wants wins and finishes. Got my first win, got my first finish, back on track. You know what I mean? So I'm slowly building this wall, and I'm just gonna keep building until, like I said, they call.
And so is that difficult mentally, going into every fight thinking, okay, I have to get the finish, I have to get the win because this is, good for my career in the future? Or do you try not to focus on that and just, it's a fight, let's go ahead and not get knocked out and try to win this one?
No, for me, it's all about the finishes and victories. Because I was telling my teammates, and I tell my coaches, training partners, everybody, I'm too skilled and I'm just too awesome to go to the judges. I'm too, like I said, I put that on myself. I'm not trying to sound cocky or anything like that, even though I am. But I'm not trying to sound cocky. It's just I know my abilities. I know how craft I am. I know what weapons I have going into the fight. And like I said, I know I can finish anybody. So that's always my goal, is to go in there, finish. Like I said, just before the final bell rings, before I put my fate in anybody else's hands other than my own, go out there and get the finish. That's all I care about. Like I said, the UFC cares for wins and finishes. I got them. You know what I mean? I'm 15-4. I got 11 finishes out of 15 wins. You know what I mean? I think that's impressive. I'm going to keep stacking to the numbers. So, like I said, that's my main thought going in every fight. Just finish, find where they're weak, and exploit it.
So I do want to talk to you about something that we actually talked about earlier this year. You were set to fight Kyle Stewart, and the talk was, I don't think it's Kyle Stewart. I don't remember his name exactly. But, the talk was if he pulls out, are you willing to take an opponent? Are you going to take that fight in the UFC? What was your reaction when you found out he gets pulled and he goes to the UFC?
Yeah, his name was Kyle Stewart.
Okay, there, yeah.
It's cool, you know what I mean? Like, we're all on different paths, you know what I mean? I'm not going to look at one man and get envious and jealous, you know what I mean? Like, I won't admit I did, you know what I mean? But I'm not going to stay that way, you know what I mean? Like I said, congrats for him. He got his UFC call. He's been fighting in the UFC, which is everybody's dream, so great for him. Not to sound like a dick, but I know his record so far in the UFC, and I hope, like I said, I hope it doesn't. I'm not like, I never want to get personal with anybody. You know what I mean? Like I said, this is all about fun. But I know he's on a 2-fight losing streak right now, and why not? Like, you know what I mean? Like he saved the UFC on a week's notice, taking the fight. So I think they promised him like 3 fights. Why not have his last fight? You know what I mean? With me, you know what I mean? Win, lose, or draw. Like I said, I'm coming to be entertaining again. I am coming to win. I am coming to finish. But for his last fight, let's make it entertaining. You know what I mean? Let's go out there, let's bang. He's had guys that want to come out there and do jiu-jitsu, wrestle him, take him down and choke him out. They both taking his back. Hey man, if you want to make a memorable fight, I'll stand there and we'll bang for fucking 3 minutes. I mean for 3 rounds if you want, bro. But yeah, man, I just want to go in there. I want to fight and I want to win. And like I said, I want Kyle Stewart to be my next opponent.
For sure, and I believe I saw you calling him out on social media, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I got to Twitter. You know, like it's not my. I hate social media. I'll be the first to say that, man. I don't care for it, man. It's annoying. To me, it's a time waster, but it's a way for people to get closer to people. So don't get me wrong. I know it has its plus and minuses, but to me it's just negative. And that's just how I see the world. But like I said, yeah, I did call my social media. My friends helped me out a lot with that. But it's just not my world, man. Like, you know what I mean? Social media, I feel like I was weird through the whole video. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like I myself. But yeah, man, I called him out through Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I tagged him in all of it. He agreed to it. He said he's down. I guess I'm just waiting on the UFC to agree to it as well. So, man, let's go.
For sure. We only have a few more months left, 2019. You mentioned you want to fight again, but what's sort of the goal for the rest of the year? I assume it must be pretty obvious, but what's your goal for the rest of 2019?
Man, if I was to set a goal right now, and you see how good I'm at setting my goals and accomplishing them,
right?
I'd like to fight one time in November before Thanksgiving, so I can fight and then pick out for Thanksgiving because my mom makes this amazing macaroni and cheese, bro. I'm trying to tell you, and then probably fight again closer to Christmas in December. You know what I mean? Try to fight. They get those 7 fights in. Fight one more time closer to Christmas. Not before Christmas, but close to Christmas. So afterwards, again, I can pick out through Christmas. I can pick out through New Year's. And I can use the month of January to get back in shape and fight again February.
All right, for sure, man. We're looking forward to it. It's been exciting watching your rise, man. I mean, we know that big things are set for you. That's why you have a lot of people watching what you're doing, man. So thank you for the time, man. I really appreciate it.
Man, thank you for having me, Brody. And like I said, just thank you, man. Thank you.